What's up, guys? I want to talk about replacing the belt on your garage door openers. Now, my garage door openers are over 22 years old. This is the type of belt they had. As you can see, all the rubber comes off and they break. This is going to be the third one. I have 3 garage doors that has broken. And so trying to find these and order these has been a nightmare. I had a garage door guy come out. He said they were back ordered. This was about a year ago. I never heard back from him. And then I decided to call the manufacturer just to find out, because I wanted to make sure I ordered the right belt. And come to find out, they are covered under warranty in this particular company, which was Chamberlain. I'll show you in a minute. LiftMaster. They have a lifetime warranty apparently. So I got the belts free, but unfortunately they kept sending me the wrong belts. They had a different pattern on them, and that's the care you got to be real careful with. If you notice that pattern, the thickness and the distance. So depending on your year and model of yours, you're going to want to make sure this belt lines up. If they send you the wrong one, it will not work. This is the one that they kept sending me. They sent it to me twice, and you can see that pattern is definitely not the same pattern. And I finally had to call them 3 different times, got through to somebody, sent them photos and an email of mine. They did some research, but for some reason the model number on my unit kept calling for this, and that's why they kept sending it to me. So it took about 2.5 months, but they finally sent me the right ones this time around. The only downside is they aren't the right length, and so you got to cut them and make them fit. And that's been probably my hardest part, trying to figure out how to do that and take them apart. I'll show you that. So here's the OEM belt that they sent me. They sent me 3 of these. Like I said, cover on warranty. These things are like $100 if you buy them. So you always check with your manufacturer on your unit. You never know, your belt actually might be covered, and I didn't realize it was. So like I said, they sent them to me for free. It was a hassle. So one of the things though, before I get to the cutting part, I made sure of is if this stuff isn't lined up at a closed position and you don't pay attention, which is what I did on that door originally over there. If it's not lined up properly, what'll happen is as the motor pulls it, the door will go halfway or a quarter way, and then it won't go all the way. So you got to make sure you start from where it was originally. That way I can measure the belt. So as you can see, I left the one end on, clipped it back in. It's real simple to actually clip in right there. Just slides right out of that spot there, flips over and comes right out. I left that in, and then I stretched the belt across the unit, and you see it's hanging, and then I stretched it to where it attaches, which is that piece right there. And then this is actually pretty simple to take apart. You unloosen it by turning that little nut back there, that square, which loosens the bar up, which then will loosen the belt for you. Once you loosen the belt, you're gonna see that this is on there. There's that little clip, which you can use a screwdriver, pop it right off of there. Then this piece falls off of it. This backing piece falls out of it. And then once you take that out, it's like doing a chain, like on a chain on a bicycle or something. Then that attachment piece will come loose off the end of it. And as you can see, here's kind of the attachment piece. That just clamps in there, and that clamps the other one. And then you bolt it back, you twist that nut back, and it loosens, tightens it back up, pulls it towards you, or loosens it. But like I said, you see how that's wore out? This is the old school one. This one's a real pain in the butt. You have to bend these apart, and I hammered into them with a chisel and separated them because it's the only tool I had, so I could remove this piece that falls out of it, and then the rubber itself that's stuck inside there will fall back out. And then you can stick it back on and then hammer it back down. That's the old ones. Let's not lose those pieces. You can see the newer one. I'm gonna have to take this one off. Same thing, pry that apart. And then where I cut it at, I marked my spot right here. This is actually really hard to cut with standard pliers. I'm gonna use, like I believe last time I used my heavy duty cutters. If you got something heavier duty, it's not easy to snip through the wire, heavy duty rubber, but once you snip through it, then you can put that clamp piece that they have back on, hammer it back on, and then you get it in place. Simply turn that nut right there. You can see it at the back of the springs, and you just keep turning it, and it tightens and tightens, and it pulls that rod as it kind of tightens inward, and then it tightens the belt up to where you need it. You just got to make sure your belt's wrapped around there. Most important part when you climb up top is to make sure your grooves are lined up inside here with your belt on there at the tightness you want. And then there's a cover that goes over this with 3 nuts, depending on what unit you have. You just take that cover off. And like I said, mine's an old Chamberlain LiftMaster. Now they're gonna ask you for the model number, and I didn't know how to find that. And they actually didn't explain it to me. You have to take off the cover, ooh, that's dirty, where your bulb is. And in my unit, you can see it right there. Oops, let's get to it. You see it right there. There's the year it was made. there's the serial number, and then right there is 2500 model number. But be very careful when you contact them. Make sure they get the right pattern, because that pattern, depending on what yours is right here, may not line up properly. But once you get it on there and you get it cut, I did all this and all it cost me was time, instead of hiring a professional garage guy that'll probably come out and tell you you need a whole new unit when really all you needed was a belt, or they'll try to charge you $500 or something crazy just to replace that belt. If you feel a little handy and you're not scared of getting on the ladder, just do it yourself. I just made do with what I had in my drawer when I was messing with it. This is an old chisel I had that was heavy duty and thick, so it was strong, and then I just used my hammer that I had, and you got to get it down in there and separate it, and then do the same thing, flip it over and separate it. It's not exactly easy because you got to try to hold the chisel, bang it at the same time. Now, if you have a vice grip or something else, maybe you're more mechanically tools. I mean, I have a little bit of tools, but I'm not really a tool dude. I'm just trying to save money, a homeowner that is tired of wasting money out there when there's things that we could do ourselves. So as you can see right there, I just held it in place, took 2 bangs. I can start to separate that piece. May need to hit it once or twice more and flip it over, do it again, and that should just separate and pop it right off. And there we go. I stuck it down in there, as you can see, with that angle, and separated it. You can see it bent. Now I may have to do it to hit it again, but it's going to get loose, and then this piece will pop right off. It'll slide out, turn, come right out, and then that rubber belt will fall right off. And then you slide it back on the belt, put the belt piece that you need back in, take your hammer and just hammer those tight against it again. And now you've shortened and lengthened your belt. See how this just gets loose, wiggles right out of there, belt will fall right out, and then boom, now you have your piece. If you can see the way those grooves are in there, how they stick out, they're designed to hold that belt in place. So make sure that these grooves are lined up in each one of them before you bang it back together, so it holds it tight in place, and this piece will stay on. I almost forgot when I was putting it back together, remember how it went in the old way? You see the curvature of that? Make sure when you put that clamp back in there, it slides back in, that it's curved that way. You don't have it flipped around and curved out. And in my case, as you can see, I did put it on. And if you look, can you tell me what is wrong with that? Does that look right to you? Imagine if I would have hammered that back in, what would have happened? So you see that piece, once you get it on, you just put that backer in, and you put those on, clamp it back in, and holds it, and you start tightening now. I'll show you a close-up again. Once you clamp those back together, you can see how that goes on. And then this just literally turns, screws that into it and tightens it. This one was easy. I didn't touch this. All I did was snap it out of there. Comes right out. You twist it up, boom, you can take the belt off. And this one doesn't have teeth really. It's just smooth back there. It's the one up top that has teeth. But now I'm gonna go ahead and tighten it. I used this to do it with. What size was this? I think this was, cheap China 12. On mine, a 12 fit on it, and I could just tighten it. I do it by hand for a while until I need to start using that. And guess what? It tightened up pretty quick. So I can tighten a little bit more because I think this is still a little floppy, but I'm gonna be all right. And then I'm gonna have a garage door that opens, and we'll test it in a second. But I am nice and tight. You can feel it like a guitar string. So let's moment of truth. Let's go see how this puppy works. All right, here's the moment of truth. I'm gonna hit the button. You guys ready? Let's see if that metal one raises or closes. I'm gonna do it with you. I haven't tested it yet. Uh-oh. What do we got? Looks like it's working. Let's see if it stops at the right spot. It stopped. Let's see if it'll go down at the right spot. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Gotta figure that out. So I had this exact same problem in the last door. It wasn't lined up exactly right, so what happens is it wants to keep going right there, and because it thinks it's hitting something, it automatically re-raises and won't stay in place. So I have to realign the belt to make sure that it stays in the right place when it goes down. So here's kind of a dead giveaway. You see where the unit stopped when I raised up, and you see that distance from the unit? Now I want to show you on my other one, now that I got it open, you'll kind of see it's supposed to come all the way back to there, literally almost up against the light. And that's where my issue is. So it looks like I'm off a couple of inches. So what I did is loosened it up right there into there, real loose, so I could just pop the belt off. And then I'll rotate the belt until I pull the door up until this piece gets all the way up next to the light. And then I'll be able to stick it back on there and then should be back in place. All right, there we go. I adjusted it back. It's pretty much up against the light. Twisted it back on, it tightened everything back up. Now in hindsight 2020, I probably should have did it with the door up and took everything apart and put the new belt on, but it already here instead of all the way out there. It got hot in here. I could have had the air flowing in here. So make sure you go ahead and have your garage door all the way up and then mess with this stuff. But I got it all lined up. And let's see the magic happen. There she is. I would say probably if you follow the directions, did it yourself, put it on, didn't make that mistake I did, you'd probably be in and out in 20 to 30 minutes with your new garage belt on for free without getting swindled by some garage door salesman trying to get you to buy a new motor and a whole new door just because you have a busted belt.